episode of Woodburn's Solving Your China Business Pain Points. My name is Christina Kohler-Colucci. I'm the head of business advisory at Woodburn Accountants and Advisors. And in today's episode, we are going to be looking at the top 20 tips to understand China's business culture. So I don't want to give stories or anything like that. I really just want to punch out these top 20 tips, and I'm sure a lot of you will understand what we're saying from them. The first tip is guanxi, or personal relationships, which are vital when doing business in China. Do not underestimate the importance of the relationship building process. Point 2, people are comfortable building relationships with honorable people who show respect to those to whom respect is due. Respect and loyalty are two signs of a growing relationship and of guanxi. 3, as all relationships are unequal, it is important for you to appear honorable, to show respect to age, seniority, and educational background. In China, there are hierarchies, and you have to abide by that hierarchy level. 4, managers tend to be direct, which reflects on the Confucian concepts of the hierarchical nature of society. So be prepared that they will be brash and they will be direct. Point 5, in return for loyalty, the boss is expected to show consideration and interest in all aspects of a subordinate's life. One of the biggest issues we saw during COVID was that people overseas just had forgotten how to act as humans and to ask people how were they, how were their families, how were their extended families. It was just something really a pity to see and experience. Number 6 is there are often very close relationships between senior management of a company and the local party officials. Having that government contact can always be useful and helpful. Obviously, if you're a one-man show, you're not really going to get into those doors, but as your business grows, take advantage of that. 7, it is important that you do not make people lose face in front of their group, in front of their team. Always respect seniority and do not openly disagree with people. It's a fine-tuning mechanism of how you should talk to your team, how you should respect them, and don't blatantly say you're an idiot, right? You've got to be a bit suave, if you will, in terms of how to do that. Number 8, do as many favors for people as possible. Debts must always be repaid. And this always helps when you build your ecosystem, that you help people, they will help you. It's a two-way street. Number 9, business cards are still utilized nowadays, especially when you're meeting people face-to-face. The millennials are going to be using WeChat, so be prepared to carry both business cards and your mobile phone with the WeChat app to add people depending on what their preference is. 10, meetings can be long and seemingly without clear objectives, even though you may have written an agenda for the meeting. Very often, the meeting is an exercise in relationship building, and the aim of the meeting is to move that relationship forward rather than talk about specific business tasks, okay? I will never forget when I was 18 going on a business trip with my father to Changshu and being in a meeting with his client for 5 hours and leaving that meeting and telling my dad, but there was no conclusion with any of the points on the agenda. And he said, yes, but our relationship got deepened. We had discussions. Yes, no conclusions were made, but both sides were heard. And the next step now is to digest that information and see how we can move forward. So it's a very much fine-tuning of negotiation and relationship building. 11, it can take several very long meetings before any tangible progress is made. Like I said, patience is essential if you want to capitalize on that situation. 11, that was 11. Number 12, the Chinese are very much interested in long-term commitments. You've got to build long-term goals and objectives into their proposals. 13, although they are direct and harsh, do not be so direct and brash as them. Strive for diplomacy, harmony, consensus, and remember that this takes time to achieve. 14, do not assume comprehension. It is often useful to go over the same point several times from different angles to actually comprehend what is being said. And I say this because point 15, it is difficult for the Chinese to say no directly. Anything other than a direct yes could mean no. You've got to be circumspect, reflect on seeming agreements reached. Has an agreement been reached? Right? There's, again, like I said, there's a nuance to all of this. 16, it can be extremely difficult to read the body language of Chinese people by Western standards. Body language tends to be quite muted in China. However, you should be alive to any changes of posture or animation, right? Take a look at that. 17, gift giving is an everyday part of Chinese business culture. Giving and receiving gifts helps to cement relationships. And this is what we mean also by giving favors. Take gifts when you are visiting and put some thought and effort also into gift selection. Souvenirs are a wonderful thing that you can think about bringing to China. 18, always wrap gifts before giving them. Gifts are rarely opened in front of the giver. 19, the Chinese are patriotic. Yes, we do see more and more protests. Yes, we saw during COVID that there was a bit of tension with the government. The goal is, and I hear this a lot. I've heard this since I was young from my parents. At a dinner table, we don't talk about religion. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about sex. We don't talk about human rights. We don't talk about any of these political situations. Know what topics not to bring to the table. Okay. And number 20, entertaining is a very important part of relationship building. If entertaining, do it well. If being entertained at a banquet, take your lead from your hosts. They will enjoy taking you through the process. And I just got asked the other day, actually, by a client asking, should we start, now that the borders are open, should we start now inviting our Chinese counterparts to our home jurisdiction as well? By all means, relationships are a two-way street. If you want to show them your office, if you want to show them your country, because the goal is to have this long-term development and relationship, do so. It is a great way to formulate these relationships. If you enjoyed today's video, please press that like button. Please share. Our mission is to help as many people that are struggling with doing business in China. If you want to learn more about what we do at Woodburn, head on over to our website, woodburnglobal.com. And last but not least, if you want to set up a call in our diary because you are struggling, we can see if we can be of any assistance to you. Click that link to our diary and we'd be happy to have a conversation with you. We wish you a fantastic day. Take care and goodbye.